Explosive new court documents suggest that former National Security Advisor Mike Flynn was set up. Who he was set up by? Jim Comey. Handwritten notes unsealed late tonight show the FBI discussed using their January 2017 interview with Flynn, quote, to get him to lie so we can prosecute him or get him fired. In other words, to entrap him and then ruin his career. And then, of course, later on, get at Trump. Well, the handwritten notes end with this intriguing little snippet. If we're seen as playing games, the White House will be furious. Joining me now is Congressman Devin Nunes, House Intel Committee ranking member, and Sean Davis, co-founder of the Federalist. Congressman, let's start with you. We've seen a lot of abuse over the past 3 years. You've been digging into this and digging into it, but this has to be one of the more egregious abuses of power, given how we know this thing went down now. Your thoughts?
Well, clearly, General Flynn is going to have a civil rights case, and I think it's going to cost the government millions of dollars. Secondly, hopefully there's going to be some prosecutions for this matter, and the judge really has an opportunity here to step in and sanction these lawyers. So, and with all that said, Laura, we brought you this. The House Republicans brought you just a snippet of this information back in 2018. We were mocked. We were told it was a joke. Well, now all of a sudden you realize that what we told you at that time, not only was it true, we didn't even know the half of it. And even right now, you don't even have the half of it. There's more information coming out the rest of this week. So the evidence is continuing to pile up in General Flynn's favor. Which is what we told you and what most of us knew I've known General Flynn for nearly 15 years. And the idea that he would be a Russian agent is preposterous. It's
a disgrace. And the way this whole thing went down, the meeting went down, the interview was billed as just a conversation. Sean, here's what Comey said about that fateful Flynn interview back in 2018.
We placed a call to Flynn, said, hey, we're sending a couple guys over. Hope you'll talk to them. He said, sure. Nobody else was there. They interviewed him in a conference room at the White House Situation Room, and he lied to them. And that's what he's now pled guilty to.
What did he think they were coming over there for?
I don't think he knew. No, we didn't tell him.
Sean, the hubris of Comey. I mean, my blood boils watching him, his manner, his priggish manner there, and his dismissiveness of the rights of an individual. You've been digging into this tonight. Tell us your thoughts.
Right. I think it's clear now that James Comey will go down in history as the most corrupt FBI director in American history. He has had the worst reign. He has destroyed the FBI's reputation through his actions, his arrogance, and his corruption. He has made it more difficult, according to a federal prosecutor I spoke to today, for U.S. attorneys and FBI agents to get convictions across the country. And that will forever be James Comey's legacy, is this corrupt coup that he attempted to run against Donald Trump.
Well, remember how this did go down, Congressman Nunes? I mean, they called him. I don't know, was the White House counsel involved in this at all? Did Don McGahn, I don't know if he walked him over, walked Sally Yates. So I don't know how this whole thing went down, but you do. So remind us how it all went down.
Well, let's remember the most important thing in all of the Russia hoax mess, and we've heard about illegal leaks. Well, the most important leak at the highest level were the transcripts of Flynn having a private conversation, the incoming National Security Advisor for the President of the United States, having a conversation with the Russian ambassador leaked out to the Washington Post and other places, I believe. Now, why James Comey and the FBI, why 400 FBI agents were crawling all over Washington, D.C., trying to find out, oh, my God, we just lost important take. We have the Russian ambassador here talking to the National Security Advisor. Somehow that leaked out from the IC. What did they do? They did nothing. And to answer your question, what happened in that process? What they did is they did not, they had McCabe, the deputy FBI director, call up General Flynn and say something like, oh, we want to send a few people over there. Is it okay? So no, they did not. He did not have legal counsel, and they set him up. Yeah. The whole thing was a setup.
No, it's disgusting. And Sean, The media, they do not escape culpability in all of this, because rather than being real journalists, they were rooting against this president and in his administration from the start. Real quick, let's watch.
This guy was not only acting as a foreign agent, literally as a foreign agent, not metaphorically.
President Trump knew then what we all know now, that Flynn was a double agent.
What the White House got was a blistering rebuke of their made-up claims that Flynn was somehow entrapped by the FBI. It wasn't just the judge who did that. It was Michael Flynn.
Will any of them come on television tomorrow and apologize or do a mea culpa, Sean? Any of them? Will any of them have that decency?
No, it'll never happen, despite the fact that this entire collusion hoax could never have been perpetrated without their willing work in it. No, they will never return their Pulitzer Prizes that they got for reporting fake news.
Yeah.
They will never apologize.
Right.
They'll never admit
Sean,
they were wrong
thank you so
ever.
much. We're going to stay on this tomorrow.